Surviving in extreme cold isn't just about being tough, it's about knowing the hidden rules that can mean the difference between life and death. At minus 40 degrees, the world changes in ways you can't imagine. Your technology fails, your body reacts differently, and even the smallest mistakes can become fatal. Today, we're uncovering the real science, the life-saving strategies, and the psychological shifts that happen when temperatures plunge to the very edge of human endurance. As global crises and climate extremes become more common, understanding these rules is no longer optional. It's essential for anyone who wants to stay alive. This isn't just another winter survival video. We're going to reveal the overlooked dangers and specific tactics for 40-degree environments. We'll break down what really happens to your body, your gear, and your mind. Because in a world that feels closer to midnight than ever, the right knowledge can save your life. At minus 40, survival isn't just hard, it's a race against time. Imagine stepping outside. The air doesn't just feel cold, it bites, burning your lungs with every single breath. Your eyelashes start to freeze together. Any exposed skin numbs in seconds. This isn't the winter most of us know, where snowflakes drift gently and our cheeks turn a healthy pink. No, this is a different world entirely. A world where the cold is so intense that solid metal snaps, batteries die instantly, and even the simplest tasks become incredibly dangerous. In these conditions, every single movement is a battle against nature's harshest extremes. The margin for error completely vanishes, and the rules of an ordinary winter no longer apply. Welcome to the coldest test, a place where only the prepared can survive, and every moment spent outside is a desperate fight to stay alive. At minus 40 degrees, your body and your tools are not what you think they are. The human body loses heat far faster than it can possibly produce it. Exposed skin can freeze in less than 5 minutes, leading to severe frostbite and life-threatening hypothermia. Even your own breath becomes a danger. The moisture in the air you exhale can freeze inside your nose and lungs, making breathing painful and difficult. Water, something we all take for granted, turns to solid ice almost instantly. Even the antifreeze in your car can thicken up or freeze solid. Everyday materials behave in completely alien ways. Metal becomes brittle and can shatter with a sharp impact. Plastics crack. And your electronics? They fail as their batteries drain in a matter of minutes. All the rules you rely on in a normal winter simply don't apply here. At minus 40, the environment is actively working against you. Survival depends entirely on understanding just how quickly the cold can change everything you thought you knew. Prepare to have your assumptions shattered. The gear you trust the most might actually be your biggest risk at minus 40 degrees. Let's talk about batteries. They're the lifeblood of our flashlights, our phones, and our GPS devices. But in this cold, they lose their charge in minutes. Sometimes they just refuse to work at all. Your sophisticated electronics can malfunction as the internal components contract and the tiny solder joints crack under the strain. Even the most advanced winter clothing can betray you. Zippers freeze solid, becoming impossible to open or close. Synthetic fabrics stiffen up, restricting your movement. And the insulation you depend on? It can lose its effectiveness as moisture from your own sweat or breath turns to ice inside the fabric. Those boots that keep you warm in normal winter temperatures? They might become rigid and completely unwearable. Your gloves can lose all their flexibility, making it nearly impossible to perform simple, critical tasks like zipping up a jacket or opening a pack of food. The sense of security that comes from having the right gear can quickly turn to sheer panic when your technology fails in the deep freeze. In these conditions, every single piece of equipment is a potential point of failure, and the smallest breakdown can escalate into a life-threatening emergency. At minus 40, survival means expecting the unexpected, and knowing that even your best tools might not be enough to save you. But frostbite isn't the only danger. Your own mind can turn against you in the deep cold. At minus 40, the body's physical limits are tested almost immediately. Your muscles stiffen, your coordination falters, and even simple movements become utterly exhausting. But the mental battle is just as fierce, if not more so. The brain, deprived of warmth and the energy it needs to function, struggles to think clearly. Your decision-making slows down to a crawl, and small mistakes, like forgetting to cover a patch of exposed skin or misplacing a single glove, can have dire, irreversible consequences. Morale plummets as the cold seeps into your bones, sapping your hope and your willpower. The intense isolation and constant discomfort can breed panic or, even worse, apathy, making it harder and harder to stay focused on the tasks needed for survival. Even the strongest-willed individuals can find themselves overwhelmed by fatigue and fear, leading to poor choices or a complete psychological collapse. In these extreme conditions, your mental strength is just as vital as your physical endurance. The cold doesn't just attack your body, it erodes your confidence and your clarity, turning every single challenge into a grueling test of both your mind and your spirit. At minus 40 degrees, survival depends on staying sharp, both inside and out. And it's not just the cold you need to fear. At minus 40 degrees, the obvious risks like frostbite and hypothermia are only part of the story. Dehydration becomes a silent threat. The air is so incredibly dry that you lose significant amounts of moisture with every breath you take, yet you may not even feel thirsty. Then there are cold burns, which can happen when your skin touches bare metal, causing an instant injury that's very similar to a burn from a hot stove. Even the snow, which looks so pure and harmless, can hide treacherous ice underneath, or deep drifts that will sap your energy and trap you. Invisible hazards lurk everywhere. There is the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning from running engines or heaters in enclosed spaces like a car or a tent, and the danger of complete disorientation in whiteout conditions, where you can't tell the sky from the ground. These dangers don't announce themselves with a loud warning. They creep in quietly, turning a tough situation into a deadly one. While most people are focused on the obvious perils, it's these hidden threats that often catch you off guard. At minus 40 degrees, survival means respecting not just what you can see, but more importantly, what you can't. So forget what you think you know. These new rules are written in ice. At minus 40, your old habits can be deadly, and survival demands a completely new approach. First, never expose bare skin, not even for a moment. Layer your clothing with a windproof, insulated outer shell, and make sure every inch of your body is covered. Second, you must avoid sweating. Moisture freezes incredibly fast, robbing you of precious body heat. Work slowly, deliberately, and ventilate your clothing as needed to let moisture escape. Keep your electronics and your batteries close to your body, inside your inner layers, to preserve their function. And always carry backups for critical gear like lighters and navigation tools. Hydration is crucial. You'll need to melt snow for water, but never eat it directly. Doing so lowers your core temperature dangerously. Plan every single move you make. Simple mistakes like dropping a glove or a tool in the snow can quickly escalate into a major crisis. Shelter is essential. You need to build windbreaks and insulate yourself from the freezing ground. Your fire-starting materials must be kept absolutely dry and ready to use, because lighting a fire in this extreme cold is far, far harder than you think. And above all, stay calm and think ahead. Panic wastes energy and clouds your judgment. At minus 40, survival means adapting fast, questioning every assumption you have, and respecting the cold's unforgiving logic. History remembers those who learned these lessons the hard way. In 1982, a group of snowmobilers in Alaska faced minus 40-degree temperatures after all of their machines broke down. The ones who survived did so by huddling together for warmth, rationing their energy, and never removing their gloves, even for a single moment. In stark contrast, a solo hiker in Canada completely underestimated the cold. He made the fatal mistake of removing his boots to dry his socks. Within minutes, severe frostbite set in, and he was unable to walk. He didn't make it out. These stories reveal the razor-thin line between success and tragedy. Survivors are the ones who adapt quickly, respect the immense power of the cold, and never, ever let their guard down. Those who ignore the warning signs or cling to their normal routines often pay the ultimate price. The lesson is brutally clear. At minus 40 degrees, humility and preparation are your best allies. Every decision you make matters, and learning from the experiences of others, both their successes and their failures, can mean the difference between life and death. Thank you for watching. If you found this information valuable, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay safe and stay prepared.